Hi, everybody. Welcome. Today I have Hannah and Christina from All About Communication with us today. Hannah and Christina are the co-owners and clinical directors of their company, All About Communication, serving families and children in the Durham region. So welcome, guys. I'm really happy to have you.
We're happy to be here.
Excellent. So let's start off a little bit about your company, All About Communication. What do you do? How did you get started? Give us a little bit of that.
Thanks, Laura. So All About Communication is the speech and language service. We operate in Durham region, and we are currently expanding up into the Peterborough area as well. That's quite an exciting thing for us, and it's new. So in terms of speech and language, we see all age groups from children to adults, mostly children though. We provide assessment and therapy for all communication disorders, including speech sound disorders, language delays, children with neurodevelopmental disorders such as autism, and genetic disorders such as Down syndrome. We currently have 8 speech and language pathologists and 7 communicative disorders assistants working for the company who provide service throughout Durham. We do mostly home visits, and although we do have a clinic space in Whitby down by the movie theater as well.
Okay, good stuff.
How we started. So that's actually quite a fun story. Hannah and I met probably about 12 years ago or so, while she was working with a different company, and I was actually a student at the time going back to school to become a speech and language pathologist, and my son was doing therapy, and Hannah was my son Joseph's communicative disorder assistant. So that's how we met. I think even back then we talked about, because I was in school, about wouldn't it be really cool if one day we started our own company. And once I had graduated, probably about a year after I graduated, I started working for a different company, and Hannah was there. We both worked there for about a year and decided to go off on our own and start a company up, just primarily in Durham region for Durham region clients.
Very neat, very neat. And it's exploded in this last little while. It's been nice to see how things have grown, and you've got a lot of good referrals, and people say wonderful things about your company. So good job, guys.
Yeah, it's been a fun 5 years.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, Christina, tell us a little bit about what parents need to know. So when should a parent start being concerned or start looking at if their child has a speech delay or things like that?
So usually around the age of 12 months, kids start talking. So that could be anywhere from 11 to 14 months, really. So if your child's not speaking at 12 months, there's no need to panic. Usually, if you have a 14 or 15-month-old child who doesn't have a couple of words or isn't really babbling, I would start being concerned. But again, I wouldn't panic at all, because lots of kids at 15 months don't talk either. When we talk about developmental norms or what they should be doing at certain ages, it's not necessarily written in stone. There's always a age range that we go by. So 12 to 15 months, the kids should have about 3 words or so. And those are words that they recognize as words, not necessarily what we recognize as words. So they could say baba for bottle. They don't have to say bottle. Or they can say tata for daddy, as long as they consistently say tata.
Okay.
From there, it kind of progresses. Kids will learn new words every week, and around 18 months, they should have 20 to 50 words. At the 50-word mark, kids have a language explosion and start putting words together. They'll start learning lots of new words all the time, and by about 2 years, they should have about 300 words or so, and start speaking in short phrases.
Okay, very good. So
I would say, between 18 and around the 18-month mark, if your child is not talking and they have very limited babbling, I would start being concerned.
Okay. And if a child's a little bit older than that and having other speech issues, is it ever too late to come and seek your help, or what age ranges can you deal with?
It's never too late to come find come get an assessment and get a professional opinion about speech and language development in your child. I would always say the earlier the better. Our hashtag, if you follow us on social media, is don't wait and see. Don't let anybody tell you to wait it out, get the assessment done. There's publicly funded therapy through Grandview in Durham region through the preschool speech and language program, and that is, you can self-refer to that. Or if you do have extended healthcare benefits and want a private assessment, you can get a private assessment in town as well.
Okay. And you also work with school-age children as well, correct?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So for school age, we tend to work a lot on speech sound errors, usually around 4 and 5, 6-year-olds who are delayed with their sound development. But we also work with children with language-based learning disabilities, such as dyslexia and other reading challenges.
Okay, very cool. Very, very good. All right, Hannah, you have another program within your company with teaching some sign language.
Yes, we just started that actually. We just got incorporated the last week or so. So the company's name is All About Signing. It's still in the works, but in 2020, we'll be launching the program.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit about what you do with the sign language program and what makes sign language so great for kids.
There are so many benefits to signing. So we started the company because babies start to gesture before they start to talk. So why not introduce some gestures or some signs in the beginning to help with communication? So with my oldest, he was signing 30 signs before he was a year, where Christina mentioned maybe around the year they have maybe 3 words. Mm-hmm. So it was incredible vocabulary. So we had definitely less tantrums, which was fantastic. Other benefits include larger vocabulary, a higher IQ. They can overcome language problems later on in life. Motor and speech skills are higher when they get older. So there's a ton of benefits to introduce sign language to your baby or toddler.
Okay, very, very cool. What are some of the basic commands that you would start teaching when you're starting to teach your child sign?
So it's recommended to use functional signs. Stuff that you would use several times a day. So popular ones when you're starting with infants is the sign for milk. A really good one too is for all done or finished, to help prevent the food flying on the floor. That's a great one to start introducing. And then you can start doing for bath time when you're doing a routine, so the sign for bath. So children will start to recognize those signs. So then it kind of cuts down the tantrum or the crying. So my youngest now is almost 8 months. When she's getting fussy at night, I'll just tell her, okay, milk is coming, just wait. And it kind of sets that routine and that structure.
Okay, very good. Around what age do you start using sign language with babies?
That really depends on the parent. So you start, normally we always say when you're comfortable. The earlier always the better. Babies typically start signing back between 8 to 12 months. But the earlier you start signing, the earlier you can see it, they'll start signing back. But every baby's different. So I've taught classes before where they're my baby's still not signing back. But the more times you do it and you include it throughout the day and routine, you'll see it a bit more. Rule of thumb, you can start between 3 to 5 signs, or if you just want to focus on the one, it's really up to the parent. Just make it fun and interactive.
Okay, very, very good. Okay, so ladies, we want to know more about how is a parent in Durham going to contact you? Is it best to go through their family doctor? Can they self-refer to your programs? How does that part work?
So,
Christina, yeah, you go first.
So you can go through your family doctor, but we generally don't need a referral for private practice. Sometimes insurance companies require a doctor's note. So you would have to go through your family doctor in order to get that doctor's note for your insurance company. But for us to start services outside of insurance, then you don't need a referral. You can self-refer. Sorry?
It's very similar to physiotherapy then.
Yes.
Okay, good stuff. And what is your website, social media handles? How do we reach out to you?
I'll let Hannah do that one.
Okay.
We're all over social media. Our website is allaboutcommunication.com. If you want to follow us on Facebook, just search We're All About Communication You'll see a picture of our logo or Christina and I there. On Instagram, we're all_about_communication_inc. And if you want to follow us for All About Signing, same thing, all_about_signing.
Okay, good stuff.
So our website's all about communication.
Okay, wonderful. I thoroughly appreciate having you guys here today. I hope all the parents in Durham can reach out with any questions. And like you said, it's never too late, and probably better to reach out sooner than later if there's any concerns or any issues. So we're very lucky to have you guys in our community as wonderful support for our families. So
thank you.
Thanks for having you guys.
Thanks for having us. Bye.